Hi everyone, I'm Monique and I'm back today creating a new layout for Pear Tree cut files, and today I'm making use of one of their lovely Advent cut files. This is express delivery, which is day 18 from the Scrapbookers Advent. Now I've cut it out from a red patterned paper and I'm using this cut file to document my children writing letters to Santa. These photos are from last year and I just thought that this cut file would be perfect. It makes me think of a postage mark and it's what I immediately thought of. So now I'm just going through a whole variety of different sheets of pattern paper that I've got that have like journaling lines in the background, just to find which ones I think will work the best. Now I get distracted with that and decide to ink this cut file because I want to try soften those white diagonal stripes. So I ink the whole thing, making it more of a solid red, just softening those white lines, and then I lift it up and I see this lovely kind of stenciling mark on my mixed media mat, and then I get a new idea. So I move on and totally change my mind and what I had planned for this layout. So I've picked 4 colors of Distress Oxide ink pads. I have Candied Apple, Squeezed Lemonade, Mermaid Lagoon, and Picked Raspberry. So I'm going to use those 4 colors along with my blending tool and that lovely cut file as a stencil to create a beautiful rainbow backdrop for my Santa's letter writing layout. So I start with the Candied Apple and I just gently dab the color onto the cut file, and then I move on to the yellow. Now obviously I want to have orange as well because the rainbow goes red, orange, yellow, so I'm going to mix the yellow and the red together, and how I do that is I'm just going to be dabbing the yellow and the red on top of each other just to kind of get that orangey layer there as well. And these inks work so beautifully together that when you do layer them on top of each other, they do create new colors. As you can see here, I'm mixing the blue and the yellow and I'm getting that lovely green stripe there, and I'm just loving how these colors are all working out. So now I'm just extending that blue layer down because I now want to start creating like a purple before moving into pink. So to create the purple, I'm just going to be adding some pink on top of that blue, and it makes a beautiful shade of purple. And then I'll just be continuing with the pink down at the bottom. And I just love that rainbow effect. Just going through all the colors, and it's just so nice and simple, and a great way just to use just a few ink pads. You don't need all the rainbow colors. I've only recently started using Distress Oxides. I've had a good selection of Distress ink pads for a while, but Distress Oxides are quite new to my stash, so I'm still building up my collection and I don't have a full rainbow yet. However, I only really need these colors. I could actually get away with just 3 colors to make the rainbow, but these 4 have worked beautifully and I'm really happy with that effect. So now what I'm doing is I'm just choosing some bits and pieces that I'm going to be using to back my photos and to embellish my layout. And at this point, I'm thinking of just leaving that stenciled background as is. I've kind of at this point decided that I'm not going to be adding a cut file on top of that. I do change my mind though, but I think it looks so pretty and just creates such a lovely background. And I just love those colors. So I'm just choosing a few little tags that I think might work. I really don't have a very set idea of where I want everything to be. I do know that I want the photos to be on the bottom right, but I'm just playing and seeing how everything works. I am trying to go for a bit of a tone-on-tone effect, so you'll see that tag at the top there has red in it to tie in with the red at the top of my stenciling, and the word Santa obviously fits in with that, and then the tag I've put behind my photo is blue to tie in with the blue stenciling. So I'm just going for a tone-on-tone, just so that the rainbow can shine, and I'm continuing that rainbow with embellishments. And I've got this little set of Doodlebug text pieces, so I'm just having a flick through those just to see which ones tie in nicely. And there's some lovely little postage stamps and that word Santa and some little tags, and I think these all just work so nicely and have got such a fun feel, which I think ties in so nicely with the feeling of this layout. So there's a really cute little speech bubble that says Dear Santa, and another little pink banner that says With Love, and I think those tie in nicely with the letter writing concept. Now I've just added the cut file that I've cut out in black. I decided that I just wanted to see what it would look like with a black cut file on top, so I cut it out again, and I'm so glad I did, because I really feel like those colors just pop against the black. So what I've done is I've stuck it down, but I've slightly offset it so that the masked outline from my stenciling gives a lovely little white shadow to the cut file, and I really like that. So now it's time to play. So I'm getting all those little embellishments that I've chosen. I have backed each of my photos with some white tissue paper just to add a little bit of softness around each photo, and then I've taken a piece of light pink plain cardstock and used my note paper edging punch just to punch the top of that to give it the feel of like a piece of note paper. So I've done that for the photo on the right, and then the photo on the left I've just backed with a little piece of pattern paper from a 6x6 paper pad. It's the Holiday Magic collection 6x6 paper pad from Pink Fresh Studio, and I absolutely love that collection. And I'm just distressing the edges of the outlines of both those photos before adding a little bit of craft foam behind them, just to raise them up, just to add a bit of dimension to this page. Now I just want to nestle those two photos together. They're both going to be raised the same amount, but I want them to kind of snugly fit into each other and to be slightly offset, and I think those fit quite nicely together. Now this little tag, I played with it in a variety of different places. As you can see there, I'm tucking it behind the photo that's backed in pink, but then it covers a lot of my cut file, so I don't love it there because I still want to see the words North Pole. So I do stick it there, but I can't push it down too far because then I lose Santa's face. So I keep coming back to that tag before finally taking it and moving it to the left-hand side and seeing how it fits there. And I definitely do prefer it there, but it means I just need to shuffle things about a little bit to get it just right and make it feel a bit more balanced. So I'm going to leave that photo cluster alone for a little bit and work on the cluster on the top left-hand corner, and I'll come back to the photos in a bit. So I'm just going to raise up that little tag, and I stick the foam on the wrong side and then have to take it off. But thankfully it hasn't stuck and destroyed it, and now I'm just going to build all those pieces together. So I stuck it down and realized I'd distressed the other tag but not that one. Now I've not distressed everything. Some things I've distressed and others I haven't, so it's mostly just been the items with square edges, so around the photo mats and the tags. Those are the things I've distressed, but the other embellishments I've just left without distressed edges. And so that might annoy you if you like everything distressed, if you're distressing, but I'm not too worried. To me it makes sense if the straight edges are distressed but the curvy ones aren't. So now I'm just extending that word Santa by adding in some little small kind of typed font alphas that say letters to, and I think that creates a nice title to my page, Letters to Santa. And I've got a cute little Santa postage stamp there and a little tag that says ho ho ho, and I think that makes a lovely little cluster there. And again, it's the red colours which tie in nicely with the top of that rainbow. Now I've got this other lovely little circle embellishment, and that's going to work nicely there on the left, and it says Happy Christmas, and I'm really liking that little Santa tag just kind of peeking out from behind that photo. Now I don't know if it's just me, but I find that the most time-consuming part of a layout for me is the faffing that I do, trying to find all the right embellishments, going through all my supplies just to see what will work perfectly where, and then fiddling, trying to find the right spot for everything. So that takes me the longest for sure. Now this little With Love banner, I nearly left it off because I misplaced it, which is something I do quite often. I'll knock things off my desk and then lose bits and pieces, but thankfully I found it. And now I'm just going in with some little colourful stars and just adding little trios of stars to different positions around my photos. I've got 3 little clusters of 3 stars around my photos, and then I've again got 3 little clusters around my title at the top. I've also used some beautiful gold glittery pear tree pieces. They're little glittery felt stars, and they are so pretty, and they're just perfect for this layout. I just love the little pop of gold that they add. Now I'm coming in with a little white piece of cord, which I'm just adding into those tags just to finish them off. And I opted for white rather than a color, just because there's a lot of color going on, and I don't really want those to stand out, but I do want the texture of the tags being finished off. Now I've got these lovely little Perspex pieces, also from Pear Tree Cut Files. These are their new Pear Tree bits, and they are gorgeous. So there's 3 different styles of trees, and it's from like a translucent green Perspex, and there's lovely little shiny gold stars. So I'm just using 3 of those little trees in various different places just to add a little bit of extra interest. I hadn't originally planned to use the Perspex trees, but then felt that they would work really nicely. So now that I've started to use them, I've decided no, I actually want that second tree there to be where the star cluster was. So I've just moved things about, and that's fine. None of the glue was stuck yet, so I could just pull the bits and pieces out and reposition them where I'd like to have them. Now looking back at this layout, I probably would have moved that little tree and put it to the left side of the left photo towards the bottom, but when I thought of that, everything was stuck down, and I'm not changing it, but that's what I think I would have changed if I could have. So I added in a 3rd tree, and here is my finished layout and some close-ups. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd be so grateful if you subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Instagram at Handmade Happy by Monique. As always, I've linked up all the products I've used along with the Pear Tree products in the description box below, so you can find it all there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!